In this tutorial, we'll be talking about naming conventions. So let's make a new model or part. So a new window workspace appears. And I want to talk about the different naming conventions that we should employ while we're building our drawings. So let's say that we are building some kind of 3D model, and um, so I'm going to be making a very sort of seemingly complicated model. So let's say I'm making a circle. Let's say a rectangle. So um, yeah. And I'm making an extrusion of it. And let's say I have a circle on this plane. An arc to determine center. Not that. Select start location arc. So let's say this one. Oh. Okay, so first I need to make a point. Point over here. Now let's make a circle. This is good enough. And press OK. Let's extrude it upwards. Okay. Let's make a rectangle. So first I need to sketch a point and make that a rectangle. Let's use a center point, and then we can extrude this. Okay. So we have this weird looking model now, and I wanted to show you that when we're making this kind of object, everything is being saved in our model tree. But when things get complicated, when you have multiple parts, you don't really know what you're talking about. You don't know what kind of shape we're dealing with. So it's a good idea to every time you create something, you name it something. All right. So for example, I started with sketch one. So it says that sketch one is related to the central cuboid that we have here. And if I want to specify it further, I can't now. So I'd have to change this. I can rename this as cuboid 1. And if I press enter, nothing happened. Cuboid 1 is not a valid name. So let's see what a valid name is. Perhaps it doesn't allow spaces. Yeah, so cuboid 1 is a valid name. So you can't have spaces in your name. And now if I click cuboid 1, so we know what we're talking about. Since it's a sketch, it's a better idea to name it a two-dimensional shape. So in our case, it was a rectangle. So let's name it rectangle. And since our extrusion is this three-dimensional shape, it's a better idea to name it the cuboid. So this is the cuboid we started with. And then we went on to make this cylinder. This cylinder from a circle. So the sketch name for this, as you can see, is here. So if I select it, it highlights it in green, as you can see from here. So I'll do that again. If I select sketch 2, It's this circle. So I created a circle. So let's rename it circle 1. And the extrusion, as I when I selected it, selected the whole cylinder. So let's call it cylinder 1. There we go. And finally, we have the other cuboid. So I'll quickly rename this as the rectangle 2, because this is the second rectangle we made, and the second extrusion from that we got a cuboid, which is the second cuboid. Now this makes it easier to understand that what am I talking about when I in using my model tree. So sometimes I can't, my figure will become so complicated that some, let's say, edges or surfaces, like for example, there's a surface, this circle that's here as well, that's behind this surface, but I can't get to it because it's hidden by this cylinder. So in order to get to it, perhaps I can use my model tree. Now I can get to this surface, right? So this is a better way. And similarly, if I want to change my view, I can also see that there is a surface behind it. I can now get to this surface. So, and I can of course hide this cylinder so I can get to that surface. I can suppress it. So there was a suppression, yeah, this one. So highlighted features will be suppressed. So now I can get to this surface.